All right, so here's you're drawing in the curb lines using the line string. I want to point out a couple of things that you might run into. So I drew this curb line, which is over here, and I snapped to this point right here, which is the contour, which is, even though it says 20.96 at the ground, I just snapped to that contour because that's actually where the 21 contour comes across. Now that 21 contour actually goes along the top of the curb till it gets back over here and then comes off. So it's running along the face of the curb through here. So this contour line, you'll see, is overlapping my curb line. So if I select this line here, which is my finished line string curb, you'll see that we cross that contour line in here, right? If we zoom in real tight. And I can see it over here too. So what's going to happen is when I go to my Takeoff and I build surfaces, we're going to get that, but you'll notice that we get these flags. The flags tell us where lines cross, and you can see you've got flags down here, and there's a few there that they intersect, okay? So what we want to do is we want to find those flags and fix them. The easiest way to fix this would be to, probably in this case, is just, really could just trim off this contour line and not use that contour line in the surface, especially in this case. So what I could do is take the contour here and I could simply right click and break it at that point, and then I could probably keep this piece because that's where it actually shoots off. So that piece is still selected, and I'm just going to go to distance along, and I'm going to bring my cursor and break it off there. And now when I close it, you can see this piece is selected. I'm going to select this contour line here, and I'm going to come up and I'm going to delete it. Now when I click on build surfaces, we'll fix that soon. You'll see now I'm just using the ground as, or that line to determine the triangulation for my surface, and not worried about the contour running along the face of the curve, because I don't have to be that concerned about that being that precise. Up in here is another area where it comes across. So what we might want to do here in this one is, if we look, this is where that 22 actually runs in, and it runs along the face. So we could break this line, but what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to pick the contour, and I've got these grips. So I'm just going to drag this on the other side of this guy, just maybe, say it's to the top back of that curb where that is actually running across. And I could probably delete this segment. So if I move that over, that's the top of curb, which is fine. And I could delete this piece doing the same thing. Or if you go to CAD, there is a delete line segment command. So what this allows me to do, instead of breaking it, is just, you can see that it's my cursor snapping to these segments. I could just come in here and left click here, and it deletes that entire segment through there versus breaking it. So now when I go back to Takeoff and build the surfaces, you can see that it gets rid of that flag as well. Now there's probably more, and if I open this flag, you can see that I can double click on that, and it'll center where that crossing break line is. So I probably got more over here, which is right there, and I would have to do the same thing up in here. So I have to move this contour or just break that line string through there. So you want to make sure that you don't have any flags, and that would be the next step of cleaning this up. So you just want to be careful about drawing some of this line work so that it doesn't cross. Now I can move this one and just drag it back. So if I close this and I pick this contour line, I can move it, to the back side. Now you can see how it keeps snapping. So if you zoom in a little tighter, I can get it to come over here. So now I can come and just drag this guy in so that is on the back side of the curb versus running along the pavement. And again, it's just going to give me a little bit of a height there. So same thing here. This contour line, we can move it off. But if I take a look at that, yeah, so that's 2385. So 24 is to the back. So 23 is on the low side, and then here's where it actually comes down and touches in 24. So I'm going to build those surface again, and that should clean up that flag in through there. So continue if you haven't, again, adding the curb line in here all the way around, and then I still got to do this curb line, which I'm going to do now, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what my results are.